Hey guys, welcome to Peace Through Truth. It is still for the next few minutes, May 3rd, 2015. It's 11:57 p.m. as I'm recording this. Trying to sneak one quick video in before I hit the sack tonight. Essentially, guys, we've got ourselves a Charlie Hebdo right here in the USA. The good old USSA. Now, this is really technically Charlie Hebdo version 3.0 because there was Hebdo in France, then you had Hebdo in Hoaxenhagen. Now this is Hebdo 3.0. I'll tell you, it's right there. It's so Hebdo-esque. It's very Hebdo. Now, just getting right into it to save time. I happened to see this article or whatever you want to call it on my Facebook feed, and I couldn't help but click on it. It was clickbait. And according to bearingarms.com, it says here that possible terrorists killed in Texas. Targets respond by seeing Star Spangled Banner. Now, how could you not click on something like that? It says here that 2 men have been shot and killed attempting to storm an Islamic cartoon contest by Texas law enforcement officers. How convenient is that? No fucking trial, right? And I have never heard of an Islamic cartoon contest here in America. I'm sorry. I mean, I will say that if you're going to find one, you probably would be in Texas, but this is bullshit. Anyway, the 2 men were armed with long guns and suspected explosives when shot down outside the building. One officer was struck in the leg in the exchange of gunfire, but was expected to recover. This is misinfo. It actually ended up being a security fucking guard. A school security guard at that. 3 Breitbart, Texas employees were inside the event when the attack occurred, and another one was outside. They are updating the story constantly, and we recommend you follow the story as it develops. Sure. Keep on following the story as it develops. Now, this is a vine from someone that was inside, or not a vine, just a quick, piece of video footage from someone that was inside. Yeah, all that good stuff. Alright, so totally looks hoaxed, right? Now, keep moving on. Since it said there was 3 Breitbart employees in there conveniently, press employees. No real new information here. It says Garland, Texas. That was all the new information. This one at least had the city. It says armed police officers rushed into the Muhammad art exhibit and contest and quickly removed Pamela Geller and whisked her away to safety after a gunfight erupted outside of the event. A law enforcement officer and 2 suspects are reportedly down, according to police on the scene. 3 Breitbart, Texas reporters are locked down inside the event, conveniently. The officers on the scene said that possible explosives were found. The extrication of Geller occurred during a live video interview with Breitbart, Texas. Now, I apologize about my narrating being a little bit off tonight because it's a little bit late, but what I want to get to here is that there was press employees here on the scene, just like in Ottawa, just like in the Sydney siege hoax, just like practically every other one of these damn hoaxes. Charlie Hebdo 1, there was the press on the roof, remember that, running with all the bulletproof vests. Hebdo 2, there was press there at the event, capturing the motorcycle cop pulling up with the Lars Vilks, the cartoonist, in his animated state outside, no pun intended. And, it's such bullshit that these terrorists happen to be attacking these places that can be well documented. The police response can be well documented. And just moving on, actually, I don't know who this damn Pamela Geller is. Oh gosh, here we go. Here, Pamela Geller is an American political activist and commentator. She is known for her truth about Islam positions and opposition to Islamic activities and causes such as the proposed construction of an Islamic community center near the former site of the World Trade Center. Okay, well, I mean, you know, I'm not all for that either, but she's obviously controlled freaking opposition. Look at this woman. Pamela Geller explains why she is holding a Draw the Profit contest in Texas. Probably because she's getting paid dearly by the government. Anyway, getting back to the actual story. They're going to say these people are either Islamic State extremists or homegrown Islamic State extremists or homegrown right-wing Islamic State extremists or some combination of either constitutionalist or, you know what I mean. This is either going to be an American, they're going to say this is an American, or this is going to be an Islamic. I mean, I know that's kind of casting a net over everybody, but still at the same time, it's bullshit. This is fucking horseshit. So I came over to look for a map of Garland, and of course it's right up there in the northeast of Texas. And I started thinking to myself, northeast of Texas, wait a second. Like, kind of like right where that fucking arrow is in the northeast of Texas, you know what I mean? So you have these two fake terrorists getting fake gunned down outside of a fake Islamic State cartoon freedom of speech event. Now, please excuse me for not believing Miss Pamela Geller and, you know, her reasons for holding this anti-Islamic Muhammad drawing contest. There's probably nothing nefarious there. So, that being said, now that we've been over the fact that Pamela Geller probably isn't controlled opposition or anything, and I couldn't possibly ever imagine her having any kind of ulterior alternative agenda. Anyway, I'm sure her reasons for organizing this little event were probably pure-hearted in nature. After smelling all that horseshit, I decided to put on the waders and see what CNN had to say about it. And basically, it says here, shots fired at free speech event in Texas. And that's how you know it's horseshit right there, because every event in Texas is a free speech event. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but just in case you didn't, and like reverse. And the first thing I notice here, it says here 11:36 p.m. We were prepared for something like this, said police spokesman Joe Harn. That's kind of a funny thing, you know. In a lot of these hoaxes, you'll see police chiefs say we practiced for this exact same scenario, or we we prepared for this, or we've been spoken to that something like this might happen in our state. Things like that. The officials always say shit like that in hoaxes. So that's a hoax alert for sure. And then I realized that the timeline's coming backwards. It says here 11:35. There's no immediate threat to the area. Harn said the bomb unit is still checking in the car for explosives. It's a very slow, tedious operation that goes on. Now, in an effort to find the beginning of all this madness, because that's really what I really wanted to see, I just jumped down to the bottom. And it says here, 10:49 p.m., the security guard who was injured in the shooting has been treated and released. Now, this guy has fucking, what's her name? Cassidy Stay-like regeneratory qualities. He can heal and be released from gunshot wounds at 10:49. Now, granted, it could have been a grazing, but how many people get grazed in the foot in a fatal gunshot? Anyway, I'm digressing. It's late. It says here 2 men opened fire outside a contest for Prophet Muhammad cartoons in a Dallas suburb. Were shot dead by police Sunday night, authorities said. The men drove up to the Colwell Event Center in North Garland, got out of their car, and began shooting just as Muhammad art exhibit and cartoon contest inside was coming to an end, Garland's police spokesman Joe Harn said. An unarmed security guard was shot in the leg. He was later treated and released from the hospital. Bullshit. Police who were helping with security at the event fired back, killing both gunmen. So, anyway, the first suspect was shot immediately, Garland Mayor Douglas Athos told CNN. The second suspect was wounded and reached for his backpack. He was shot again. The gunmen's identities weren't immediately released. We have no other indication that anyone else was involved, Athos said. FBI and local officials were checking on the gunman's vehicle for explosives, and the area around the center was blocked off. Surrounding businesses, including a Walmart, were evacuated, as were attendees from the Curtis Colwell Center. Other people saying, Star Spangled Banner. Heavy security for the event. The event was sponsored by the American Freedom Defense Initiative, which is considered an anti-Muslim group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate groups. The group said it would specifically pick the venue, a public school-owned facility, because it was a host to an event denouncing Islamophobia in January. The event invited cartoonists to send in cartoons in Prophet Muhammad, and the group said it received more than 350 submissions. The winner stood to win $10,000. There were about 40 people at the event when police announced there had been a shooting. There were about 40 people at the event when police announced there had been a shooting. How the fuck did these people not know someone was just shot right outside? Most of the people who were there were from out of state, Athos said. Well, apparently they are from a place where they do not know what gunfire sounds like. While details about the gunmen, including their religion or their motive, weren't immediately known, depictions for the Prophet Muhammad are considered blasphemous by many Muslims. I'm sorry guys, it's late. The prohibition against illustrating the Prophet Muhammad began as an attempt to ward off idol worship, which was widespread in Islam's Arabian birthplace. But in recent years, it has taken a deadly toll. In January, gunmen attacked the offices of Carlie Hebdo. They've referenced Hebdo, a French satirical magazine that has a controversial history of depicting Muhammad, and killed 12 people. The next month, a gunman attacked a free speech forum in Copenhagen, Denmark, featuring a controversial cartoonist. Shortly after the shooting, a prominent Muslim leader in Dallas tweeted that the incident was just what we didn't want. The community stayed away from the event. What the fuck? I swear that a bot writes their shit, wrote Iman Zia Sheikh. Seems like a lone wolf type of attack, just what we didn't want. Shots fired at Pamela Geller event. The community stayed away from the event. Seems like a lone wolf type of it, just what we didn't want. Okay. This is a war. The keynote speakers at the Garald event was right-wing Dutch politician Geert Wilders, who was placed on an Al-Qaeda hit list for his film Fitna. This has thrown off all kinds of red flags. The film, which Wilders released online in March 2008 to international outcry, features disturbing images of terrorists acting superimposed over verses from the Quran in an apparent attempt to paint Islam as a threat to Western society. I think Islam, anyway. In 2011, Wilders was cleared on charges of inciting discrimination and hatred over a controversial film he made about Islam. And this is a picture of him with all the Freemason cops that are involved in this hoax. And to think about it, that's all it took to pull this hoax off, is this small unit of cops right here and a couple people to sing Stars and Stripes, the Star Spangled Banner. The group, the American Freedom Defense Initiative, is considered an anti-Muslim group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate groups. Its president, Pamela Geller, is the anti-Muslim movement's most visible and flamboyant figurehead, said the SPLC. Geller took to her own website shortly after the incident, writing, "This is a war. This is a war on free speech." I'm sorry, guys. This is my first time reading through all this myself. So, anyway, I've got to cut it short because of time. But, yeah, this is a fucking hoax. If you guys can't see that, I don't know what else, you want me to show you. Take care. God bless.